Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another edition of Saints Baseball here in Pasadena, California, as we get set for some California Collegiate League action as the Arroyo Seco Saints host the San Luis Obispo Blues for the final time this season. The two teams have faced off 6 times already this season and have split the series 3 games apiece. The Blues enter today with a 22-14 record overall and are 10-13 in league play, which has them 2.5 games back of the Saints, who currently occupy that final playoff spot. The Saints, currently sitting in third, have a 14-11 record overall, 13-11 in league play. So the Saints boasting, as I said, a 2.5 game lead over this Blues team. This is the final time these two teams will face off. And let's throw it over to my partner, Jack Steele, for the starting lineup of the San Luis Obispo Blues.
Thanks, Matt. So, starting off for the Blues will be Ryan Cole, the center fielder. Batting second will be Hunter Swift, the right fielder. In the 3-hole will be Tyson Corio. Cleanup spot will be the designated hitter Brian Klein. Hitting fifth for the Blues will be Tanner Lindsley, the first baseman. Batting sixth will be TJ Rumfield. Batting in the 7th position, Brady Lindsley, who will be behind the plate. Batting 8th will be Solian Burry, the left fielder. And rounding things off for the Blues will be the shortstop Dane Stankiewicz.
And that lineup will be facing Drew Atherton, who's on the mound. He was on the mound opening night when the Saints hosted this same exact San Luis Obispo Blues team. The Saints came away with a victory in that one. Got them started on the right foot. They won that game by a score of 6-5. So we'll see if the Saints can emulate that, I guess, with an exact starting replica on the mound.
And I think Drew Atherton should be familiar with some of the batters that he's seeing today, since he's already faced this team once.
Exactly. So Ryan Cole, the center fielder, wearing number 26, steps up to the plate for the Blues. First pitch from Atherton finds the strike zone. Count is 0-1. That first pitch at 6:14 p.m. here on the 8th day of July, 2019. Atherton set. Out of the stretch, the 0-1. Pretty much same location for strike 2.
And a good job by Atherton here, able to get ahead in the count with some flexibility now with location and pitches.
Now, like you said, he's got his choice. The 0-2 delivery, chopped at, fouled off into the Blues dugout. So the count remains 0-2.
And that appeared to be some type of breaking ball from Atherton and was in the strike zone, so Cole had to swing at that one, luckily staying alive.
Good job to stay alive. The 0-2 ground ball over to shortstop. Cowley Fields throws over to first for out number 1. And the first batter is retired. So let's move over to the defensive orientation of the Arroyo Seco Saints. On the mound is Drew Atherton pitching to Matt Thomas. First base is Pete Durkee, and then it's Thomas Lovano at second, Drew Cowley at short, and then it's Jason Gonzalez at third, David Reyna in left, Christian Scott in center, and Anthony Forte at right field. So now Hunter Swift stepping up to the plate. He's got the start in right field for the Blues today. First pitch to him misses a little outside for ball 1. The Blues wearing those dark blue jerseys, gray pants, blue socks, and then those yellow sleeves that stick out to match their dark blue caps. Atherton's 1-0, finds the outside corner. Strike 1. The Saints, on the other hand, wearing all white jerseys. They've got blue lettering with gold outlines to match their blue cap with a gold brim. The 1-1 from Atherton finds that same exact outside corner. Count moves to 1-2.
And this is back-to-back batters here where Atherton has been able to get ahead in the count.
And that does a lot for you. If you're able to establish a tempo, get ahead in the count, as a pitcher, you're able to keep your pitch count down and stay nice and fresh. The 1-2 cracked right back up the middle. It'll get past Cowley into center field, and the Blues have their first base hit of the evening as Hunter Swift reaches on a 1-2 single.
And I think on that 1-2 pitch, Atherton just left that pitch a little too much over the plate there. And Hunter Swift was able to get get good contact on it and send it up the middle.
That's a good piece of hitting as well. With a 1-2, you know, you like to shorten your swing a little bit, try and make sure you stay alive. He pokes it right back up the middle. Now there's a runner on for the Blues with one down, and Tyson Corio, the second baseman, to the plate. First pitch swinging right back up the middle. That too will reach center field. Rounding second, but then deciding against testing the arm of Scott was Swift. So now there's runners on first and second after Corio singles.
And that's back-to-back singles now for the Blues. So Atherton, I'm looking for Atherton to kind of settle down here and try to work it one pitch at a time, try to get this next out.
Atherton, if I'm not mistaken, pitches to contact a lot. And I am correct. He only had 17 strikeouts this past year at Cal Poly Pomona in 43 1/3 innings pitched, as his first pitch to Brady Klein misses inside for ball one.
And I mean, the ideal situation for Atherton would be, you know, a ground out double play, you know, to end the inning. So
I imagine if he gets the exact same ground ball that he just got from Corio, that could end up turning into a double play just because of where Cowley's playing right now at shortstop.
Definitely.
As Klein fouls that one off. You can see it on your screen. Towards the left-hand side, the shortstop, Drew Cowley. Where he was standing just a second ago was, you know, traditional shortstop position. Now, if you're looking at it, he's probably about 10 to 15 feet away from that second base bag, staying nice and close. And he's going to be the one keeping the runner honest with a left-handed batter at the plate. Atherton takes a look, the 1-1 chopper over towards first base. Durkee fields, goes over to the bag, steps on it for one, and is going to have to eat it as the runners advance. But he does make the play, so now there's two down, runners on second and third for the Blues, and Tanner Lindsley to the plate.
And Atherton able to draw the ground ball there from Klein. Just doesn't ground out in the right position for them to make the double play. But only one out left for the Blues to work with here.
And you know, for a natural catcher over there at first base, that was a very smart decision at Durkee not to try and force the double play, but to field it and get the out. As now there are two down. It would have been tough to throw out Corio. He's a very speedy runner for the Blues. So Durkee decided to go one, step on the bag, get Klein out. And as I've mentioned a couple times, now there's two down with Swift on third, Corio on second, and Lindsley at the plate. The first pitch missed the strike zone, then the 1-0 was fouled straight back. Tanner Lindsley, the younger brother of Brady Lindsley. Tanner's got the start at first base today, and Brady's got the start behind the plate for the Blues.
And both Lindsley brothers, their primary position is the catcher position.
Chopper over towards first. Durkee lays out. It goes off his glove and into right field. One comes home to score, the other right behind him as Corio jogs in without a throw, and it's 2-0 in favor of the Blues here early.
Good effort there by Durkee. Just unable to come up with that ball. Just goes off the tip of his glove into right field. Tough to see if you're the Saints.
Durkee did about everything that was in his power to try and keep that one in the infield. It just touched off the top of his glove, rolled out into right field, and unfortunately because he got that touch on the ball, it was a slow roller into right, and that allowed Corio to come home as well. First pitch swinging his Rumfield liner to left field, going down, diving and making the play is Reyna, and that'll bring about out number 3. So the Blues tack on 2 here in the top half of the first inning, and we'll head to the bottom half and see if the Saints can retaliate. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to Saints Baseball on YouTube Live, the official network of Arroyo Seco Baseball. bottom half of the first inning we go. As the Saints will try and retaliate, they gave up 2 in the top half. Let's throw it over to my partner, Jack Steele, for the starting lineup of the Arroyo Seco Saints.
Leading off and coming to the plate right now will be the right fielder, Anthony Forte. Batting second, Thomas Luvano. In the 3-hole will be Drew Cowley. Cleanup is the designated hitter, Andy Garriola. Batting fifth, Jason Gonzalez. In the 6th spot will be Pete Durkee. 7 will be Matt Thomas.
As this one, first pitch swinging line ball deep center field. It'll go off the top of the wall, just barely missing, leaving the ballpark is Forte, as he's on board with a first pitch double. And I'm sorry to interrupt your lineup there, Jack, as Forte didn't want to hear the rest of his teammates' names called, apparently. Let's get back to that lineup.
Batting 8th will be David Reyna, and batting 9th and finishing things out for the Saints will be the center fielder, Christian Scott. But wow, what a great hit to lead off things for the Saints here, as Anthony Forte absolutely crushed that ball.
About the best way you could have led things off there. First pitch swinging off the top of the wall. Like I said, he missed putting a tally mark in that home run column by about a foot or two. As now Thomas Luvano steps up to the plate. First pitch to him, high and inside for ball 1. The lineup that you just heard from Jack will be facing Chivens on the mound. That's Tyler Chivens for the San Luis Obispo Blues. As a nasty breaking ball gets Luvano to think twice about it. He checks his swing, but it finds the strike zone regardless. Count moves to 1-1.
Thomas Luvano coming into this game hitting .351 through 19 games with 15 RBIs. So definitely a run producer for the Saints this season.
And he's in position to bring one home, as Anthony Forte, as we mentioned, first pitch swinging, puts himself into scoring position with the leadoff double. Now with a 2-1 count on him. Chivens delivers. Luvano swings through the high breaking ball. That one must have looked like a beach ball with the way he took a hack, but ended up coming up empty. Now the count's even at 2.
Definitely. And Chivens left that curveball high, basically at eye level for Luvano, so not surprised that he swung at that. And if he made contact, he probably would have done some damage.
2-2 in the dirt. Now we're going to get a full count as Luvano watches that one go by. Luvano wearing number 15, playing second base today for the Saints. He's seen some starts in that DH role that is currently occupied by Andy Garriola today. Full count delivery from Chivens. Chopper over towards shortstop. Fielded by Stankiewicz. Throw over to first in time. So Luvano is retired, but in the chaos, Forte advances over to third base.
And with Forte advancing over to third with only one out, the Saints are in a position now for a sacrifice fly, being that there's only one out.
Like you said, one out. Runner 90 feet away from chipping away at this Blues lead. For Drew Cowley, the shortstop, he was a selection to the CCL Prospects game that'll be played this Wednesday, I believe. He's one of the 8 players named to that team from the Saints. First pitch to him found the strike zone.
And the previous hitter, Thomas Luvano, was also selected in that game.
Another chopper to shortstop Stankiewicz. He fields and throws over. Throw is in time for out number 2, but Anthony Forte comes home to score, and that'll be an RBI ground out for Drew Cowley as the Saints take the San Luis Obispo Blues lead and cut it in half. It's now 2-1 in favor of the Blues with Andy Garriola at the plate.
And a good job by Drew Cowley just to put the bat on the ball there. Made contact, and it was enough for Forte to come in and score.
First pitch to Garriola, a little too low and a little too far inside for ball 1. Chivens on the mound for the Blues, pitching to Brady Lindsley. At first base, Tanner Lindsley, Corio at second, Stankiewicz at short, Rumfield at third. The 1-0 was popped high in the air, shallow right field. Coming in and not able to get to it as it lands foul was Swift. And the count moves to 1-1. Garriola will jog back. As I was saying, the infield consists of Tanner Lindsley at first, Tyson Corio at second, Dane Stankiewicz at shortstop, TJ Rumfield at third, Julian Burries in left field. Then it's Ryan Cole in center. And in right field, the man who came up just short of that fly ball, Hunter Swift. So Garriola back in the box, counts 1-1, 2 down here. Run has already come across the board for the Saints. 1-1 finds the strike zone.
Garriola, also one of the other Saints players that's been selected in the CCL Prospects game. Well deserved.
1-2 to him in the dirt for ball 2. I would say it's very well deserved.
Yeah.
The power that we've seen on display from Garriola so far this CCL season is absolutely absurd for a freshman. And now the 2-2 chopper fouled it off his own foot. That one rolled out to the mound. Chivens picks it up and then asks for a new ball. So if you're just joining us, the Blues brought home 2 in the top half of the first inning. The Saints tacked on one of their own so far in this home half of the first, thanks to an RBI ground out from Drew Cowley that drove in Anthony Forte. The 2-2 chopper over to shortstop. Stankiewicz is unable to get his glove down. And getting on board is Garriola. We're going to see if they rule that one a base hit or an error.
I believe it will be an error because that ball went right through the shortstop Stankiewicz's legs. And talking with the Blues broadcasters, it seemed as though Stankiewicz has a good glove and is a pretty good fielder, so surprised to see that ball go under him.
Well, sometimes it's the easy ones.
Yeah.
Because, you're already thinking, all right, this one's easy. Short little chopper. Let me look at first base. Let me look where I'm going to throw. And right as you look up, the ball goes right underneath your glove. So now coming to the plate, Jason Gonzalez. First pitch to him finds the strike zone. 0-1 the count. Gonzalez, a fairly new addition to the Saints, coming out of Vanderbilt.
I believe this is his 4th game for the Saints this season.
His first game was against this Blues team. We were talking to that Blues broadcaster before the game, and he was one of the names he brought up as the 0-1 fools him a little bit. He swings out of his shoes at it, and the count moves to 0-2. Gonzalez, 6'3", 206 pounds. Like I said, he just finished his sophomore year with Vanderbilt, who won the national championship.
Yeah, so that's got to be some kind of experience for Gonzalez. Once-in-a-lifetime experience for sure.
I can't imagine that adds a grain of salt to any bad day you have.
Yeah.
As the chopper right up the middle gets past the diving Corio. Garriola on his horse over towards third. He'll be in there standing. And Gonzalez is stranded between second and first. He's going to try and beat. He does, as Garriola comes home to score in the chaos. So 2 runs come home for the Saints as Gonzalez is tagged out going towards second base. And that is about as beneficial of a pickle you could have asked for. And it comes from the man with the Vanderbilt experience. So 2 runs come across. They even the score. The score is 2 apiece. Now as we head to the top half of the second inning, don't go anywhere. You're listening to Saints Baseball on YouTube Live, the official network of Arroyo Seco Baseball. Top half of the second inning we go. Scores 2 apiece between the San Luis Obispo Blues and the Arroyo Seco Saints. Drew Atherton still out there on the mound for the Saints as he will face Brady Lindsley, the older of the Lindsley brothers on this Blues team. Got the start behind the plate today. First pitch to him. He swings and cracks it into left center field. Tracking back is Scott. He's able to field it, and he will throw it in, but not before Lindsley reaches second base with a stand-up first pitch double.
Good piece of hitting there by Lindsley. Aggressive at the plate. Going after that first pitch. Obviously saw something he liked and drilled that to left center.
So now Julian Burry, the left fielder for the Blues, comes up to the plate. And this game has a lot more impact than it might seem on face value. This is the last time these two teams face off this season, and the Blues are currently sitting one spot out of the playoffs, and the Saints are occupying that last playoff spot.
Yeah.
Now, these two teams have met 6 times. I mentioned it briefly earlier. They've each won 3. So whichever team comes away with the victory today wins the season series between these two.
So it's definitely a big matchup for both teams here.
Especially because the Saints are the team that the Blues are trying to chase for that last playoff spot in the CCL playoffs. As the count moves to 1-1 to Burry.
And the Saints, winning this game would create a gap, in the CCL standings. So
trying to bolster their lead and create a little bit more of a safe spot in that third place as the 1-1 misses outside for ball 2. According to the CCL website, the top 3 teams in the California Collegiate League will make the playoffs. As the 2-1 is a chopper over towards first, Durkee fields it, picks it up with his bare hand, steps on the bag for out number 1, and moving over to third base is Lindsley.
Good job by Durkee there, keeping the ball in front of him, able to come up with that ball and make the out.
And you have a lot of time over there at first base, so even if you don't come up with a clean pick off the ground ball, just keep it in front, pick it up, you'll have enough time to beat out the runner. So now Dane Stankiewicz, the shortstop, comes to the plate with 1 down and a runner 90 feet away from giving them another lead. Atherton's first pitch to him, a little low, little inside for ball 1. As I was saying before about the CCL playoffs, the top 3 teams in the division make it. Currently, sitting at number 1 is the Santa Barbara Foresters, as this one's a chopper over towards second base. Lovano Fields throws over to first. The run comes home, though, and the Blues reclaim the lead 3-2. So the Santa Barbara Foresters currently have first place in the CCL, 18-6 in league play. The Riptide have second place. They're 13-10. And then third place are the Saints, 13-11. They're only a half game behind the Riptide for that second spot. And fourth place is the Blues, who are 10-13, 2.5 back of the Saints. And then it's the Oaks at 9-15 and the Barons at 7-15. So now Ryan Cole back up to the plate for his second at-bat today. First pitch to him found the strike zone, 0-1 the count.
So it's kind of a 4-team race right now, honestly, in the CCL standings.
There's still, I wouldn't say plenty of time, but there's still a lot of time left for a little bit of a shakeup. But as of right now, it's starting to appear like the Blues are pulling away as that 4th team that could possibly compete for a playoff spot, as the 1-1 is chopped foul out of play.
And Atherton again getting ahead in the count here.
Good job by him so far, staying ahead of these batters. As the 1-2 is a chopper over towards third base. It'll be foul, though, as the third base coach tried to snag it with his bare hand, missed it, and now just kind of has a little smile on his face as he looks toward the ground. So we'll get reset. Count is 1-2 with 2 down here in the top half of the second inning. The Blues have already brought a run across to make it 3-2 again. The 1-2 delivery to Cole, just a little off the plate for ball 2. So Cole, the center fielder, will step back up to the plate. He grounded out to shortstop in his first at-bat. The 2-2 delivery. Chopper foul towards the Saints dugout. Will bounce off the wall in front and end up down that left field line where One of the players in the Saints bullpen will jog down and grab it. So once again, the 2-2 from Atherton. Out of the stretch, he delivers. Chopper foul, out of play. We'll do the rodeo again.
And Cole really battling, giving Atherton a tough time. Atherton has thrown a good amount of pitches here during this at-bat, but a good job by Cole to stay alive.
Good piece of hitting. Some good pitching on the other side, too, as the 2-2 fouled off once again. So Atherton showing a little frustration on the mound. Still coming out of the stretch. It's interesting. You don't really see him come out of the windup. He's pretty much stuck to only the stretch so far this game, as the 2-2 is a chopper in between first and second. Lovano dives. It goes off his glove and gets into right field. And Cole is on board with a base hit, so he will extend the inning for Hunter Swift.
And going back to Atherton about his stance, I mean, you see that out of some pitchers. Some pitchers are just more comfortable coming from the stretch. I mean, you don't see it all the time, but it's definitely not something that, I mean, it's something that some pitchers are more comfortable with.
Now, I wouldn't take what I'm about to say as a pure fact, but it's just observation from what I've seen. It's usually players who started off as position players, didn't pitch when they were younger, who stuck to the stretch. I was one of them. When I was trying to learn how to pitch, I did not want to pitch out of the windup, only out of the stretch. And a couple other guys that I grew up with, when they were learning how to pitch, refused to go into the windup. Could have absolutely nothing to do with Drew Atherton. He could have been a pitcher since day one and just liked pitching out of the stretch. But that's just my observation. The first pitch to Swift missed the strike zone, and the 1-0 will do the same. So now Swift, wearing that blue number 18, looks over to the dugout for a sign. Only wearing one batting glove on his right hand. His power hand, I guess he likes to go barehanded. So now the 2-0. Ground ball in between first and second. That one will get into right field as well. Rounding second, but coming right back to the bag is Cole. And there's two runners on with two down here in the top half of the second. The Blues refusing to go down.
Back-to-back base hits here for the Blues. And if you're Atherton, I mean, you got to try to stay calm here and not worry about what has happened in the previous two at-bats, but focus on the at-bat right now. And, I mean, you only need one more out to get out of this inning, so you just got to take it batter by batter.
So now Tyson Corio to the plate. First pitch to him misses outside for ball one. Last time he threw a first pitch to Corio, was smacked right back up the middle for a base hit. He came home to score the second of the 2 runs scored in the top half of the first inning. The Blues have already tacked another one on in this inning and are threatening once again as the 1-0 misses high and inside for ball 2. Timeout will be called. Jason Gonzalez jogs out there. Have a quick chat with his pitcher. Let him know, hey, we got you. Just pitch to the strike zone. If he makes contact, we'll make the play. Atherton takes a couple deep breaths, gets back into his position on the mound, and we'll see if his little powwow with Gonzalez helped him. Corio wearing 43 at second base for the Blues today. The 2-0 to him. Chopped right up the middle. Line drive dipping into center field. That'll be a base hit. Coming home to score is Cole. And stopping at third is Swift. As Corio advances to second base on the throw home. He's a little shaken up from the slide, but I'm sure that has nothing, or rather won't dampen his mood after he drives in a run there. And the score is 4-2 in favor of the Blues.
And tough to see if you're Atherton, giving up 3 straight hits. But like I said earlier, I mean, you just got to collect yourself. You only need one more out, and it's all about getting the batter that's at the plate right now.
So now Brian Klein trying to keep things going for the Blues. 2 men in scoring position. First pitch swinging. Liner down the first base line, just barely foul. Durkee reached out, just couldn't reach it. Luckily for the Saints, it dropped foul, and Klein will have to come back to the plate. The designated hitter in a good position. If that one had dropped in fair territory, that would have been 2 runs for the Blues. Standing on second is Tyson Corio. On third base, Hunter Swift. Once again, there's 2 down here in the top half of the second. Atherton struggling to get out of this one. The 0-1 off the plate outside for ball 1. It's always funny to watch when Matt Thomas catches. I know his jersey fits him. I know it does, but whenever he goes down into crouching, the jersey comes untucked. And you see about once every 2 to 3 innings, he'll try and tuck that jersey back in, and then within 3 or 4 pitches, it's right back untucked. So it's funny to see. It's one of the few catchers you see a jersey untucked during the game, as the 1-1 misses low and outside for ball 2.
Yeah, I've definitely noticed that about Matt Thomas. It's funny that you mentioned that, because it always seems to be untucked whenever I watch him play.
He makes sure to tuck it back in when he goes up to the plate. That's usually when the attempt happens.
Yeah.
As the 2-1, just off the outside corner for ball 3.
And a good spot there from Atherton, just misses. But I like the location on that pitch. And now with the 3-1 count here, he's going to need to throw a strike.
Atherton just cannot seem to find the final out here in the second inning. 3-1 in the dirt, gets past Thomas. Coming home to score is Swift. Corio advances to third, and because that was ball 4, Brian Klein is on base with a walk. He'll be standing at first base.
And that's tough to see if you're the Saints. I mean, in a 3-1 count, it's okay to pitch a ball if it doesn't hit the dirt, because, you know, the runner from third's not going to score.
And Matt Thomas usually very good at blocking pitches in the dirt. That might have been a mix-up of signs or something, because he didn't look like he was expecting a pitch that low. And now there will be a chat out there on the mound, probably going over signs or just reassuring the confidence of Atherton on the mound, who's given up 5 runs here through 1 2/3. As the Blues currently have a 5-2 lead, and Tanner Lindsley, the first baseman, will come to the plate. He's 1 for 1 on the day as he singled in the first inning. So the chat is over. Coach Toges must have said his magic words, and we'll see if they'll work. Lindsley stepping into the box. Atherton shaking out his arm, getting ready. First pitch to Tanner Lindsley. Just a little high and outside for ball 1. So now the 1-0. Atherton delivers, and Tanner watches that one go by as well, as the count moves to 2-0. After giving up a leadoff double, Atherton retired the next 2 batters. Lindsley came home to score after those 2 outs. That one's chopped and lined into left field. It'll drop, and a run will come home to score, trying to get over to third base, and he will successfully as the throw brings Gonzalez off the bag. That was Brian Klein advancing to third. So Tanner Lindsley drives in a run for the Blues. It's 6-2 in favor of San Luis Obispo. I'm not sure if they're going to credit him with a double or a single advancing on the throw. My guess is single advancing on the throw, and I get the confirmation from our statistic.
And that's how I saw it as well.
So an RBI single off the bat of Tanner Lindsley. And now there's runners on second and third once again with 2 down for TJ Rumfield. First pitch to him, a little low for ball 1. So now Rumfield trying to continue this explosion of an inning in the second inning. Takes a big hack at that one, misses though, and the count will move to 1-1. Atherton steps off the mound, gathers his thoughts, gets right back into the stretch. As Rumfield awaits. The big left-handed batter. 1-1 to him, low and outside for ball 2. Rumfield, we've seen him get a lot of starts at first base, including the last couple times that I've called games where the Blues have been here at Jackie Robinson Memorial Field. Today he's got the start at third base. His glove good enough to get the job done over there. Now the 2-1 to him. Chopped over towards first base. Durkee thought about trying to dive for it, realized it was out of his reach. One will come home to score, the second right behind him. And that's a 2 RBI single for Rumfield as the score moves to 8-2.
And this has just been a tough inning for Atherton. And Coach Milam's going to come out and he's going to change pitchers. I think he's seen enough.
Well, that is completing the bat around for the Blues. And like you said, Coach Milam coming into the game to pretty much inform his pitcher that that'll be the end of his day. We'll see what pitcher they bring in. It looks like Race Gardner will come into the game to pitch and possibly find his way out of this jam, as the Saints have conceded 6 runs already in this top half of the 6th inning. We're going to give some time for Race to warm up, and we'll be right back for the conclusion of the top half of the 2nd inning. Don't go anywhere. You listen to Saints Baseball on YouTube Live, the official network of Arroyo Seco Baseball. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Race Gardner on the mound to try and bring about the end of this endless top half of the 2nd inning for the Blues, as they've successfully batted around. Brady Lindsley to the plate. He led things off with a first pitch double. Came around to score, and first pitch to him in his second at-bat of the 2nd inning. Misses low and inside for ball 1.
And Race Gardner making his 4th appearance thus far with a 1-0 record.
Now the 1-0, a little too far inside for ball 2.
Gardner's pitched 9 2/3 with a 2.79 ERA. 9 strikeouts on the year.
The 2-0 popped high in the air. Matt Thomas going over, getting underneath it, makes the call and makes the play, and that'll bring about the 3rd out of the 2nd inning. So the 3rd out finally comes around, but not after the Blues tack on 6 to their score. They reclaim the lead, and they currently hold a bolstering 8-2 lead as we head to the home half of the second inning. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to Saints Baseball on YouTube Live, the official network of Arroyo Seco Baseball. Home half of the second inning begins with Pete Durkee, the first baseman from Tennessee, stepping up to the plate. He'll try and get things started for the Saints after they tied it up in the home half of the first. Then they watched a 6th spot be put up in the top half of the second, so they trail 8-2 here. First pitch to Durkee, high and outside for ball 1. An exciting thing going on in the baseball world today, the Home Run Derby, featuring a couple of just absolutely huge names for rookies. Vlad Jr., Pete Alonso. That's happening as we speak, as the 1-0 finds the strike zone to Durkee. We released a Twitter poll on our Arroyo Seco Twitter asking if there were 4 players entered into a home run derby between the Saints. Durkee, one of them, as he cracks this one over to shortstop. Stankiewicz collects it and records the out. Durkee is one of them. If it was a home run derby between Pete Durkee, Andy Garriola, Anthony Forte, and Thomas Lovano, who would win? And if you want to go and voice your opinions on that, head on over to our Twitter and vote on that poll. I believe Andy Garriola was winning last I checked.
Yeah, I think so. And I think Andy Garriola would be the person I would choose as well, if I'm being honest.
That's a safe guess with the power he's shown so far this season. As the first pitch to Matt Thomas, the 6'5" catcher who has an innate ability to find a free pass onto the base paths, I should say. First pitch to him, though, finds a strike zone. Now the 0-1 chopper over towards third base. Collected by Rumfield. The throw over is in time, so the converted first baseman looks good over there at the hot corner. And there's 2 down in the home half of the second.
Now batting, the left fielder, number 4, David.
Yeah, like you said, that was a good pickoff by Rumfield. It was a hard ball that was taking a weird bounce, but able to come up with it and make the play. So nice play there from the converted first baseman, Rumfield.
First pitch swinging is David Reyna. Popped high in the sky, going back and calling for it is Corio. He makes the catch, and 1 pitch, 1 down as the Saints go down in order. 1, 2, 3. We'll head to the the top half of the third inning. Score remains 8-2 in favor of the Blues. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to Saints Baseball on YouTube Live, the official network of Arroyo Seco Baseball. Julian Burry stepping up to the plate for the Blues. He'll lead things off here in the top half of the third inning. The Blues already have an 8-2 lead as we enter this third inning of play. Race Gardner on the mound. He came in to end the second inning. He came in relief of Drew Atherton, who went 1 2/3, gave up 9 hits, 8 runs, all of them earned. Walked a batter and did not strike out any. First pitch swinging is Burry. He fouls it off out of play. And Gardner's got the leadoff batter down 0-1. Gardner at the University of Hawaii Hilo. Spent a couple years with Pasadena City College before going out to the 50th state. As the 0-1 is lined deep left center field, tracking back is Scott. He makes the grab, and that's out number 1.
And a pretty deep ball hit there by Burry near the farther part of Jackie Robinson Field, but not far enough to get out of here as Christian Scott is able to track that one down.
So now Dane Stankiewicz to the plate. Last time up, he grounded out to second base. It ended up bringing home a run, though, as Brady Lindsley scored the go-ahead run at the time. It's now 8-2. That was the third run of the game for the Blues. As the first pitch to Stankiewicz is in the dirt for ball 1. Does a little kind gesture as he picks up the ball, hands it over to catcher Matt Thomas. Play will resume faster that way. The 1-0 from Gardner. Delivers a fastball on the outside corner for strike 1. Gardner has a long, meticulous windup and then delivers a lot of power right out of it. So it's a lot of slow and then immediate fast as the breaking ball misses the outside corner for ball 2.
And when I've seen Gardner pitch, he does have an effective curveball with good movement on it, especially when he's able to command it.
The 2-1 chopped into shallow left field. Tracking back is Cowley. He'll make the grab, and that's out number 2. Good play by Drew Cowley, the shortstop, tracking all the way back into shallow left field. Reyna over there in left field had to be playing a little deep, and of course, I've brought it up on almost every single broadcast I've had here at Jackie Robinson Memorial Field, but left field is the deepest part of the ballpark. So it is a very, very large piece of real estate for the left fielder to cover. Reyna was not going to be able to get in to grab that one. Cowley realized it and was able to get out and got the second out of the inning. So now Ryan Cole with 2 down, nobody on, comes up to the plate. First pitch to him finds the strike zone, 0-1.
And you don't see these kind of dimensions at a ballpark. I mean, this is the first time I've seen it, where the shortest distance is in right, and it just gets deeper and deeper as it goes across the diamond to left field.
It's absolutely bizarre. To be frank, it's 374 down the left field line, 364 dead center, and then 345 down the right field line as the 0-2 breaking ball finds the inside corner for strike 3, and Race Gardner sends Ryan Cole down looking to go 1-2-3 through the third inning. As we'll head to the home half, the score remains 8-2 in favor of the Blues. We'll see if the Saints can get something going. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to Saints Baseball on YouTube Live, the official network of Arroyo Seco Baseball. Christian Scott, the center fielder for the Saints, leads things off here in the home half of the third inning. Center fielder out of the University of Tennessee will get his first at-bat against Chivens today. First pitch to him, swinging, chopper down towards first base. Collecting it is the natural catcher, Lindsley. Tosses it over to Chivens, who collects and steps on the bag for out number 1.
And if you're the Blues, I mean, that's the ideal situation to get the first batter out, on the first pitch.
One pitch, one out.
Yeah.
That's exactly what you want to see.
And aggressive base hitting from Christian Scott there. Just unable to find a gap.
There's a conversation being had now between the home plate umpire, and it was originally Christian Scott. Now he's walking over towards the dugout, still yelling at Christian Scott. Now he's having a conversation with the head coach, Aaron Milam.
And the umpire seems pretty upset about something that was said, I guess, by Christian Scott.
The catcher, Lindsley, kind of asked the on-deck batters what's going on, and both Forte and Lovano responded the exact same way at the exact same time with a nice little shoulder shrug. As I think the only two people who really fully understand what's happening right now are the home plate umpire and Christian Scott. And one of them has taken a seat back down in the Saints dugout, the other one having a conversation with head coach Aaron Milam. So Chivens will take advantage of this pause in play. He'll throw a couple warm-up pitches, just kind of trying to stay warm.
And it's important for a pitcher to do that. You don't want to just wait around for the umpire. You want to stay warm and in a groove. And that's what he's trying to do right now. As the umpire and Coach Milam are still having a conversation over there. I'm really curious to what went down.
Still no explanation, and the conversation only seems to be getting more and more involved. Absolutely intriguing. Either way, coming up to the plate after this little meeting is done is Anthony Forte, the right fielder. He doubled on the very first pitch of the game to him. That was in the first inning. He came home to score the first of the 2 runs for the Saints. Now he'll come up to the plate as play will resume.
Now batting, the right fielder.
Anthony Forte out of Richmond, 6'2", 215 pounds. He spent the last 2 years at the University of New Mexico. Last season, batted .280 in 54 games started. He had 13 doubles, 12 home runs, 53 RBI. As the first pitch to him misses the strike zone for ball 1. So now Chivens, the 1-0 in the dirt. Collected nicely by Lindsley behind the plate, and the count moves to 2-0.
And Forte has done a good job for the Saints so far this summer, hitting .333 over 14 games with 8 RBIs. So he's been a contributor to the Saints offense for sure.
Takes a big hack at the 2-0, comes up empty. The count moves to 2-1. Chivens, I wouldn't say is cruising through this game so far, but this is only the 10th batter he's faced. He's given up 2 runs, only one of them was earned. As the 2-1 chopped up the line, laying down and collecting it though is Lindsley, and he tosses it over to the pitcher Chivens, who is covering for out number 2. And back-to-back first to pitcher outs, as that looked pretty natural over there at first base for Tanner Lindsley.
I was just going to say that. Looking pretty good over there at first base is Lindsay, who primary position is catcher, so getting some work in at first base and doing a good job thus far.
As you mentioned earlier in the game, we had a chat pregame with the San Luis Obispo Blues announcer, and he let us know that Tanner Lindsley is a converted catcher over there playing first base for the Blues today, and that he's had some issues, some mechanical issues over there at first base, but right there, he sensed absolutely none of it. As the first pitch to Thomas Lovano is fouled off down the third base line out of play. So the count moves to 0-1 for the second baseman for the Saints. In his first at-bat, he grounded out to shortstop, Stankiewicz. That allowed Forte to advance to third, who came home to score on Cowley's ground out. Now the 0-1 fouled off once again, and he's quickly down 0-2. Lovano back into the box. The 0-2 with 2 down, watches that one go by. Chivins started leaving the mound expecting it to be called strike 3, but it was a little too high, a little too far outside. So the count moves to 1-2. Chivins will have to go back, take his spot on the rubber once again. Now the 1-2 from him. Lovano froze. Good decision to do so as well as the breaking ball misses low and inside for ball 2.
And a good eye by Lovano, able to work an 0-2 count, even here at 2-2.
2-2 in the dirt for ball 3, and now it's a full count to Lovano, who 3 pitches ago was down 0-2. 3 straight misses from Chivins, as the first one was a fastball high and outside, then back-to-back breaking balls. So the payoff pitch, Lovano watches it go by, and he's called for strike 3 as he tosses the bat. He gets an explanation from the home plate umpire, but he watches it go by for strike 3, and for the second straight inning, the Saints are sent down in order. As Chivins cruises through his third inning of work, the score remains 8-2 in favor of the Blues. As we head to the top half of the 4th inning, don't go anywhere. You listen to Saints Baseball on YouTube Live with Matt Berner and Jack Steele, the official network of Arroyo Seco Baseball. Top half of the 4th inning, the Blues have an 8-2 lead. As coming up to the plate, Hunter Swift, the right fielder, will try to get things started for the Blues here. First pitch from Gardner finds the strike zone. Count is 0-1. Defensive change for the Saints. Nolan Tressler checks into center field as Christian Scott exits the game after the little argument he got into with the umpire. It's now the 0-1. Chopper over towards first base. And a bad hop gets past Durkee. Lovano covering and backing him up. Goes over to right field, picks it up, and getting on board with a seeing eye base hit is Hunter Swift.
And that was a really weird hop that ball took on Durkee.
Now batting,
Just bounced
baseman, number 43,
to the right
Wilson
of
Coria.
Durkee. And, I mean, if you're Durkee, that's just kind of an unlucky situation there.
Nothing you can really do when the ball hits the lip and takes such a weird bounce like that. Doesn't matter how long you spend at the position of first base, it's hard to change directions that quickly. So the first pitch to Tyson Corio is fouled off out of play. That's the first base runner that Gardner's allowed. I believe what's going to happen is the contact from Hunter Swift is going to be ruled a base hit because it was such a weird bounce and no contact was made by Pete Durkee over there at first base.
That's how I saw it. And that's what I think it would be too. I agree with you.
You can't really fault a player for such a weird hop.
Yeah.
Regardless, the count is 1-1 to Corio, with Swift standing on first base, a sizable lead, leaning towards that right leg, and he takes off. Thomas pops up, throws down to second base. The throw gets past Cowley, inner center field, and Nolan Tressler gets a nice little warm-up roller to him. As the count moves to 2-1, and Swift advances safely to second base.
It didn't appear as though Matt Thomas was going to get Swift on that steal.
Thomas has thrown out a handful of runners so far this season for the Saints. 2-1 to Corio, line deep right center field, tracking back and looking up as it goes over the wall and out of the ballpark was Tressler. And Tyson Corio leaves the ballpark right center field and makes this game 10-2 in favor of San Luis Obispo.
And that was a shot from Corio. And once that ball came off the bat, I thought it had a chance to leave. And it certainly did.
Well, that's a crushing blow to the Saints. It looked like Gardner had finally figured it out on the mound. He retired the first 4 batters he saw. And then since then, he gave up that weird seeing eye single to Durkee. And of course, that 2-1 home run to Corio. 10-2 the score in favor of the Blues as Brian Klein steps up to the plate. First pitch swinging, he fouled it off out of play. So now the 0-1 delivery. Chopper over towards shortstop. Cowley collects and is unable to pick it up. Just kind of rolled right out of his glove. That'll be an E6, and Klein is on board. So Tanner Lindsley will now come to the plate. He's 2 for 2 on the day. Singled in the first, singled in the second.
Number 5, Tanner Lindsley.
And the catcher converted first baseman has looked smooth in the field and smooth at the plate so far for the Blues. First pitch of his third at bat, inside for ball 1. Now the 1-0 swung on and missed, so the count's even at 1 as Gardner gets Lindsley to swing through that one. Got to be a little frustration on the mound if you're Gardner. You got a ground ball over to first base. The ball took a weird hop. Then, of course, he gave up that long, deep fly ball as a home run. Then another ground ball over to shortstop. Cowley unable to come up with that one. The 1-1 check swing didn't go around. Ball was in the dirt, so Tanner Lindsley works a 2-1 count. Once again, if you're just joining us, the score is 10-2 in favor of the San Luis Obispo Blues. They put up 2 in the first, 6 in the second, and now 2 more in the fourth inning as the 2-1 finds the strike zone, 2-2 the count. Gardner looking for the first out of this fourth inning. Delivers the 2-2. Breaking ball finds the strike zone, and Tanner Lindsley is sent down looking.
Great pitch there from Race Gardner. Like I mentioned earlier, he does have an effective curveball, and utilized it there as a wipeout pitch to get Lindsley looking.
Sends him down window shopping as TJ Rumfield will step up to the plate, the third baseman. Ground ball over to first base. Durkee collects, throws to second. Now the throw over to first, and the double play will get the Saints out of the inning as the Saints go 3-6-3. And now we will head to the home half of the fourth inning. The score is 10-2 in favor of the Blues after they tacked two more on thanks to that two-run shot from Tyson Corio. Like I said, 10-2 in favor of the Blues. We'll be heading to the bottom half of the fourth inning. Don't go anywhere. You listen to Saints Baseball on YouTube Live, the official network of Arroyo Seco Baseball. He's been looking pretty nice so far. He's only given up one earned run, 2 total though, as he will now face off against Drew Cowley, the shortstop who got the role in that third hitter. First pitch swinging, pops it up and out of play.
And Cowley in his last at-bat grounded out to short, but drove in a run while he did so. Drove in one of the 2 runs for the Saints thus far.
And the Saints desperately need another one as Cowley lines that right to Rumfield, and the tall third baseman collects it. For out number 1, they try to throw it around the diamond, and I don't think Dane Stankiewicz could see the ball as it just kind of hit him right in the glove, and they had to pick it up and throw it back over to Chivens.
And a hard hit ball there by Cowley. Just a tall third baseman to make the catch there. Unfortunate.
Rumfield is listed at 6'5", so not an easy target to get the ball over. First pitch swinging was Andy Garriola. So the count is 0-1. Oh-1 delivery. He takes this one, and it finds the strike zone. So now he finds himself buried in a hole, no balls, 2 strikes.
And if you're the Saints, I mean, this is the spot in the order where you want to make something happen. Of course, Drew Cowley unable to get anything going, causing the first out as that one is taken by Garriola for a ball. But you got the cleanup hitter up right now, Jason Gonzalez on deck, so be good for the Saints to get something going as they just do right now.
Garriola showing us his specialty, hitting it right back up the middle. A majority of his hits are just that, hit right back up the middle, right towards the pitcher. As he singles between second base and shortstop, it rolled into center field, and he's on board with a 1-out single. And that'll bring up the third baseman from Vanderbilt, Jason Gonzalez. Gonzalez singled in his last at-bat, but ended up hung out to dry. He tried to get over to second base on the throw. He got into a pickle, and while the Blues were trying to hunt him down, Andy Garriola came home and scored. So now the first pitch to Gonzalez. He swings, fouls this one off out of play into the bleachers. Almost hits a couple of fans who are sitting down the right field line bleachers. So the count is 0-1 to Jason Gonzalez. Gonzalez wearing number 16. That was Luke Lipsius's number, but Luke had to leave after sustaining an injury. So Jason Gonzalez steps in, adorns the number 16, and now he watches the 0-1 miss inside for ball 1. The Saints have had a couple of injury problems so far this year. Justin Watari, Luke Lipsius had to leave because of injuries. Among those names, Oscar Serratos also had to leave because of an injury. Morgan Allen, I believe, is still here, but he's not playing because he injured his hand as the 1-1 finds the strike zone. So not necessarily the most healthy Saints team, but they've been able to find people who step up and fill the roles, including the national champion at the plate right now.
Yeah, and that's a great addition to the squad, as Gonzalez is a man amongst boys out there.
Well, I'm sure it doesn't hurt your confidence wherever you go, knowing that you've got that national championship under your belt. He fouled off the 1-2. So Tyler Chivens, after a nice little breather there as the umpire had to collect some new baseballs from the Saints dugout, will get set to come out of the stretch. Andy Garriola at first base with one down. You probably won't see him take off. He doesn't try and steal bases very often. The 1-2 swung on and missed. And as I say, you probably won't see him take off. Guess who takes off? Andy Garriola slides in safely at second base. That looked like a late steal, almost like he missed the sign or something, because he took off after the ball crossed the plate.
Yeah, it was.
It worked out regardless.
Yeah, definitely. And the catcher probably wasn't expecting it, you know.
Well, of course, he just heard me say he was not going to go.
Yeah.
So Andy Garriola steals second base. Jason Gonzalez swings through the 1-2 to make out number 2 here in the home half of the fourth, and that brings up Pete Durkee, the natural catcher out of Tennessee, playing first base for the Saints today.
And Durkee with an opportunity with Garriola on second in scoring position to tack on another run for the Saints, try to get them back in this ball game.
The first pitch to Durkee missed the strike zone. Now the 1-0 finds that outside corner, so the count's even at 1. Durkee last season at Tennessee played in 51 games, started 34 of them, only hit .228, had 3 home runs, 21 RBI. 1-1 swings through it, and count moves to 1-2. In high school, Durkee was all-region at 3 different positions.
Wow.
That's not something you see too often. He did spend some time at first base, I believe, in high school. That was one of the 3 positions he reached all-region.
I wonder what the third position was.
In the dirt, as that one moves to 2-2. Throw down the third as Andy Garriola took off. A delayed takeoff once again. The throw was not in time as Garriola had to slide underneath a bang-bang tag attempt, So he advances over to third base with 2 down here in the home half of the fourth. And with a 2-2 count, Durkee's got the possibility of chipping away at this Blues lead. I believe that the third position that he was all-region in was third base, but I could be mistaken. I do know for a fact he was all-region catcher, and I believe first base.
Yeah. I mean, he's playing first base right now, so I would think he played first base in high school as well.
You usually see the combo, though. If they're playing multiple positions, you usually see the combo of first and third, because those are the 2 corner positions. Usually, if you're fitted to play one of them, you can learn to play the other. 2-2 in the dirt. Durkee swings through it. He'll toss the bat, jog over towards first base. Garriola will come home, but his run won't count this time. So Durkee goes down swinging, and Chivens strikes out 2 in a row to bring about the end of the home half of the fourth inning. The Saints threatened but couldn't bring any home. They still find themselves trailing 10-2 as we head to the top half of the fifth inning. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to Saints Baseball on YouTube Live, the official network of Arroyo Seco Baseball. Top half of the 5th inning, Race Gardner on the mound once again for the Saints. His team trailing 10-2. He'll be trying to send the Blues down in order. Make sure you stick around. There's a time to be had coming up, as in the bottom half of the 5th inning, my partner Jack Steele steps up onto play-by-play duties for the remainder of the game. And then in the top half of the 6th inning, pitcher Trevor Beer will be coming over for an interview. As first pitch swinging, this one's popped up in foul territory. Coming forward and making the grab is Anthony Forte. And 1 pitch, 1 out as Brady Lindsley goes down.
And that's ideal if you're a Race Gardner. If you're trying to go 3 up, 3 down, you got 1 down, 2 more to go, and you've only thrown 1 pitch. So
now Julian Burry to the plate, left fielder for the Blues. First pitch to him finds the strike zone, and looks like whatever funk Gardner went through in the middle of last inning, he might have figured out a way to overcome, as he's up 0-1 now on Burry. The 0-1 almost gets a swing out of Burry, but it misses just outside for ball 1.
And going back to that last inning with Gardner, he gave up that home run when he was in the stretch. And that was the first time he had been in the stretch.
This one's cracked deep center field, tracking back as Tressler going over. He'll let it drop and hit off the wall as he collects it, throws it past the cutoff man, and Race Gardner, the pitcher, will have to come out there and collect as Julian Burry's in there with a stand-up double with 1 down.
But as I was saying, I think Gardner is just more comfortable in that wind-up position. And going into that stretch for the first time, it seemed to maybe throw him off a little bit.
Well, now we'll see if he can counter that or overcome it, so to speak, as he will face Dane Stankiewicz, who's 0 for 2 on the day. He popped out to the shortstop and grounded out to the second baseman. First pitch out of the stretch this inning for Gardner. It was a breaking ball that he just didn't get enough break on. Missed high and outside for ball 1. That was Burry's first hit of the day. He moves to 1 for 3 now, after that double. Ground ball out to first base in the second, and then lined out to the center fielder in the third. So now he stands on second base with a 1-0 count to Dane Stankiewicz with 1 down. Gardner delivers the fastball, chopped straight back at us. A little too high, though, to scare us at all. So the count moves to 1-1. Once again, the scoring came in bunches for this Blues team, as they put on 2 in the first inning, 6 in the second, 2 last inning. Now they've got a runner in scoring position with 1 down in the 5th. The 1-1 from Gardner, that breaking ball missing high and outside once again for ball 2. Gardner going into a more meticulous, slow pace out there on the mound now that he's in the stretch, taking his time, making sure every pitch is the one he wants. Takes him a little longer to get set here. Now he delivers out of the stretch, the 2-1, high and outside, ball 3.
And although he's only thrown 4 pitches out of the stretch this far in this inning, it seems as though he's struggled a little bit with the command coming out of the stretch. As with this 3-1 count, Gardner's going to need to throw a strike.
3-1 delivery. He takes it and it finds the strike zone. So Stankiewicz now has a full count. Gardner looking to retire Stankiewicz for the 3rd time this evening. Well, I guess it would be Gardner's 2nd time, the 3rd time the Saints would have retired him. He gets his pitch. Looks back at Burry at second base and delivers. The breaking ball misses just low. As that's ball 4, and advancing on a free pass is Dane Stankiewicz over there to first base. So now there's runners on first and second for Ryan Cole, the center fielder for the Blues.
And Gardner threw a curveball on that that 3-2 count, and usually you don't see pitchers throw curveballs on 3-2 counts, but if you do see it, I think it's kind of a signifier that, you know, they're confident in that pitch. And I've seen Gardner throw that pitch well, and obviously showing he has confidence in that pitch.
Well, it was in a perfect position to get a swing and a miss. Stankiewicz just had the better eye and watched it miss a little too low. So now Ryan Cole at the plate. First pitch to him misses for ball one. In Cole's last at-bat, he struck out looking. That was to end the third inning. Now with only one down, he's got 2 runners on base to see what he can do for the Blues. 1 for 3 on the day. As he grounds this one over to Callie, he collects, throws over to second, Lovano over to first. The throw in time and the double play is completed, 6-4-3. And the side is retired, no damage done this time to the Saints as the Blues maintain their 10-2 lead as we head to the home half of the 5th inning. Don't go anywhere, you listen to
Welcome back, viewers. This is Jack Steele taking over play-by-play duties as we head to the bottom of the 5th here at Jackie Robinson Field. There's a new pitcher on the mound for the Blues, a lefty, Andrew Alvarez from Cal Poly Pomona. So the D2 product steps on the mound, and into the plate now will be the catcher, Matt Thomas, as that first pitch is way outside for ball 1.
And Alvarez coming into the game brings about the end of the day for Chivens, who went 4 innings, 3 hits, 2 runs, 1 earned, and had 3 strikeouts, no walks.
As Matt Thomas fouls that one back, even up the count here at 1-1. And we mentioned this earlier, but Chivens did a pretty good job of keeping the Saints at bay, only allowing 1 earned run. As that 1-1 pitch is in the dirt. 2-1 now to Matt Thomas.
And make sure you stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen. Trevor Beer will be joining the broadcast in the top half of the 6th inning for a brief interview, and we'll talk to him about what life is like pitching for the Arroyo Seco Saints.
It sure will be a time to be had as Matt Thomas swings and misses at that 3-1 pitch. And the count will be full here for Matt Thomas, the Saints catcher. And the full count pitch swung on and fouled back. So we'll do it again. Score is 10-2 in favor of the Blues here in the bottom of the 5th. Full count pitch. Swung on and popped up to shallow right field. Coming in is Swift to make the grab. And that'll retire Matt Thomas for the first out here in the bottom of the fifth.
Good recovery there by Swift in right field. He ran past the ball originally, was able to stick out that right arm, reach out, and just snag the ball out of the air.
Yeah, that was definitely a tough play to make on the run, but good snag there by Swift. Coming to the plate now for the Saints will be the left fielder David Reyna as he takes that first pitch high and outside for ball one. David Reyna slaps that one towards second. Corio comes up with it, throws on to first, and that's the second out of the inning here for the Saints. So 2 quick outs for the Blues. And coming to the plate now for his first at bat will be Nolan Tressler, who replaced Christian Scott in center field. First pitch to Tressler is in there for a strike. That 0-1 pitch is in there as well for strike 2, so Tressler falls into a hole here at 0-2. And a quick delivery from Alvarez as that pitch is swung on and fouled back. And the count will remain 0-2.
As we mentioned, this is Tressler's first at-bat. Came in to replace Christian Scott after the 3rd inning. And we talked about that situation as it was unfolding. The 0-2 misses high for ball one. Obviously, something was said that the home plate umpire took exception to. There was an understanding among the player and umpire, and now we see Tressler in center field instead of Scott.
Tressler drives that one towards short, but it appears as though the shortstop Stankiewicz makes the catch. So Tressler will be out, and that'll be the final out here in the bottom of the 5th. We'll head to the top of the 6th, and remember that Trevor Beer is going to be on the broadcast, so stay tuned for that. You're listening to Saints Baseball on YouTube Live, the home of Arroyo Seco Baseball. And welcome back, viewers. We are headed into the top of the 6th here. The score is 10-2 in favor of the Blues, and there's a new pitcher on the mound for the Saints. It is Jamie Robertson from Emory. And we have a very special guest joining us, one of the pitchers for the Saints, Trevor Beer. Welcome, Trevor.
Happy to be here.
Now, Trevor, you just finished up your freshman year at the University of California, Santa Barbara. In that season, you had 8 appearances, didn't give up a run in 3 innings pitched. according to the statistics I found on the Santa Barbara site.
Yeah.
How helpful has it been for you to come out here and get some innings in, get some actual work in, and get prepared for that sophomore year where you're probably going to see a much bigger role?
It's been very helpful just being able to work more against both righties and lefties. Being able to work through trouble and have kind of a longer leash than I did in Santa Barbara this past year.
As Hunter Swift is able to get on base for the Blues, stepping up to the plate will be the second baseman Tyson Corio as he takes that first pitch low for a ball. Trevor, going into your sophomore year, you've had one collegiate year under your belt. What are you looking to improve upon individually this summer as you head into your next season?
Just overall being more well-rounded as a pitcher, more composed generally, have a little bit more stamina. Being out here affords me an opportunity to work on developing a third pitch, just basically any aspect of my game that's lacking.
And you're fairly local, I believe. You're from La Cañada. That's
that's correct.
Not too far of a drive.
Yeah, 10 minutes.
How nice is it to come home and play some competitive baseball real close to home?
It's super convenient. Nothing beats being able to sleep in my own bed at night, having mom's cooking, that kind of stuff. Kind of an advantage I have over some of the guys traveling far away. It's just a cool kind of balance of both worlds.
And do some of your teammates, kind of give you flack for it or say things like, oh, bring me home for dinner, just try and lobby for you to get them some of that home-cooked meals?
Yeah, I get a little bit of that. They ask me for advice on where to go local, where any of the good spots to eat are.
And Tyson Corio draws a walk for the Blues, so there will be two on here in the top of the sixth. Man on first, man on second. Coming up to the plate for the Blues will be Brian Klein. So you're from La Cañada. I'm from San Marino.
Okay.
Yeah. So where'd you go to high school?
Crescenta Valley.
Okay. I went to St. Francis High School.
Okay.
In La Cañada, yeah.
Just down the road pretty much.
As Klein takes that first pitch for a ball, and Matt Thomas is going to go have a discussion with his pitcher. You mentioned you throw two pitches, working on a third.
Mm-hmm.
What are those two pitches, and what pitch are you working on?
So far, I've pretty much got a four-seam fastball and a slider, and that's what I've worked with probably 90% of the time while I've been here.
Gotcha.
And I'm working on throwing a splitter.
Okay.
Yeah, personally, I struggled my freshman year trying to develop different changeups, trying different grips, and none of it worked. So kind of went to the drawing board with my coaches. Just started throwing it as I was finishing up my freshman year.
Klein sends that to center field, but Tressler gets under and is able to make the catch for the first out here in the top of the sixth. But the splitter can be a very effective pitch. I've seen pitchers use it before, and that sinking action can really be effective and get hitters swinging, So I hope that works out for you, man. I hope you can develop it.
Appreciate that.
That would also be an unusual trio of pitches to see. That's got to play to your advantage. Fastball, slider, splitter.
Yeah, anything to keep the hitters off balance,
Definitely.
If it
whatever
works, it gives you an advantage, right?
Exactly.
Whatever it takes. Now, I'm glad that you guys mentioned high school not too long ago. I did some digging and found out you had a .8 ERA your senior year of high school.
Yeah.
How is that possible?
Our league, I'm not going to say it's the strongest amongst other Southern California leagues, and some of it got to chalk it up to our coach's pitch calling and my defense saving my butt a couple times. It wasn't all me.
I can tell you've gotten that question before. That was the perfect stereotypical humble answer. Oh yeah, it was my coaches and the defense helping me out.
Very generic.
I like to hear it though. I do like to hear it. A lot of times, I shouldn't say a lot of times. Sometimes you get guys on, ask them about a performance, and they go into detail of how they triumphed over the world. But Trevor Beer showing humility and some talent to match that humility. As I mentioned, you are yet to give up an official collegiate earned run. And you're welcome for that, jinx.
Cherry-picked stat right there.
So you mentioned you're working on developing a third pitch. Do you have any other set goals for this summer working with the Saints?
I want to get PFPs. Those are a huge struggle for me. They're my arch nemesis. In my first outing here, I recall spiking a 40-foot throw to Pagan at first base. So since then, fielded a couple.
And the pinch hitter, who is Nick Hansen, sends that deep to left field. Around scoring is 2 Blues. And that's going to be a 2-run double for the pinch hitter, Nick Hansen. And the score is now 12-2 in favor of the Blues, tacking onto that lead. 1 out here in the top of the 6th.
Now, we should have warned you, Trevor, before you came on. Every single time we have someone on to talk, every single time we have an interview, there's an explosion on the field, an offensive explosion. So, congrats, you get to join us this time to sit through this one.
Should have had me come in the bottom of the inning.
Yeah.
Got to start doing that. At least have our guys start raking.
Well, they definitely could use that. They're trailing 12-2 right now.
As TJ Rumfield grounds this over to second, Luvano comes up with it, throws on to first, and that'll be the second out of the inning. But Nick Hansen will advance to third from second here. So 2 outs here in the top of the 6th. Coming up for the Blues will be the catcher, Brady Lindsley.
So we touched on the fact that you're a local guy. So we're not going to ask you, what's on your SoCal bucket list. But you mentioned some of the teammates ask you, where's a good place to go eat? Where's a good place to go hang out on an off day? What are your top 3 places to tell them?
To go eat, the basic one's kind of Lucky Boy, but if they want to go a little more fancy, it's home Roscoe's.
Okay.
Great place to go.
Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles?
Yeah, if they're going to the beach, I'll tell them Manhattan or Newport. Those are my top 2 spots.
Okay.
And then another place to eat, I guess, closer to home for me in Locker Center is Everest. They got best breakfast burritos in the area.
Best breakfast burritos in the area. And that
hold me to it.
That ties right into my next question. If you could have one meal before every start you had, right? Just one meal that you could choose, what would that be?
Ooh, pre-start meal. Probably some grilled chicken, maybe some brown rice or something. Something clean so I can feel good going into the start. I'd feel crummy if I had some chicken tenders or something like that.
I respect it.
Yeah,
A popular answer among your teammates is Chipotle.
Chipotle? Okay.
I've also heard Subway a lot.
Oh, yeah? Okay.
Yeah.
Subway will do the trick.
Well, I imagine, those are nice and easy fast food items you can pick up on the way to the ballpark.
Yeah, if I got the time to prepare it, I'd rather have like a good homemade grilled chicken, keep it simple.
So between your fastball and your slider, what do you think is your most effective pitch?
I'd say the slider. It's what I heavily lean on whenever I get in trouble. It's the pitch I kind of developed the most over my time in Santa Barbara and just got the most comfortable using, throwing for a strike whenever I want to.
So Brady Lindsley grounds out to first, and that'll be the final out here in the top of the 6th. Trevor Beer, thank you for joining us, man.
Thanks for having me.
Really was a pleasure. We're going to head to the bottom of the 6th here. You're listening to Saints Baseball on YouTube Live, the official home of Arroyo Seco Baseball. Welcome back, viewers. We are here in the bottom of the 6th. Andrew Alvarez, the pitcher for the Blues, back out for his second inning of work. The leadoff man for the Saints in this inning will be their leadoff man, Anthony Forte, as he takes that first pitch for a strike on the outside corner. The 0-1 pitch to Forte. Breaking ball that again catches that outside corner for strike 2. Looked like a replica of the first pitch that he threw. And the 0-2 pitch from Alvarez. Slider that's hit deep to left field, but the Blues left fielder Burry able to get under it and make the catch for the first out here in the bottom of the 6th.
Now batting, the second baseman, number 15, Thomas Lovano.
Now coming to the plate now for the Saints will be their second baseman, Thomas Luvano. 0-2 thus far, if I believe. Grounded out to short in the first, struck out looking in the third. And the first pitch to Luvano is swung on and slapped through the gap of first and second into right field. And that's going to be a base hit for Luvano. And that'll be the first man on for the Saints here in this inning.
That's actually the first base runner they've had since the 4th inning. It was Andy Garriola who singled with 1 out in the 4th. That's only the second base runner that the Saints have had in the last, well, since the 1st inning, I should say.
Yeah. I was just going to say, it hasn't appeared as though they've had many base runners as Drew Cowley slaps that over to third. On to second, gets the out. Throw on to first, unable to get him. Drew Cowley is going to be safe at first. So there will be 2 outs now here in the bottom of the 6th. Coming to the plate for the Saints will be the cleanup hitter, Andy Garriola.
And Drew Cowley is now the 6th base runner of the night for the Saints. They've had 6 base runners, and the other team has 12 runs.
Not what you want to see if you're the Saints. You definitely are in a hole here, down 10 runs. As that first pitch to Garriola is outside for ball 1. Garriola, 1 for 2 thus far. Grounded out to short, but reached on an error and eventually scored later in that first inning. And then got a base hit in the 4th inning as he takes that second pitch for ball 2 and actually stole 2 bases in the 4th inning, which is unheard of from Garriola. The 2-0 pitch to Garriola misses, low and inside for ball 3. So it'll be a 3-0 count to Garriola, and honestly, if I'm the Saints, I would give the green light to Garriola since you're down so many runs. As he swings at that pitch, fouls it over the first base dugout. So the count will be 3-1 to Garriola.
Well, being down this many runs, I can imagine most of the batters for the Saints will have the green light. But if you're going to give one batter on this team the green light, it's got to be Andy Garriola. He's had a phenomenal season at the plate for the Saints.
So that 3-1 pitch is slapped foul over the backstop. And a 3-0 count will now be drawn full here. 2 outs in the bottom of the 6th. Man on first. 3-2 count to Garriola. And the pitch from Alvarez swung on, grounded towards shortstop, thrown on to first by Stankiewicz, and he got him. So that'll be the 3rd out here in the bottom of the 6th. 1 hit, no runs for the Saints. As we head to the top of the 7th, score will remain 12-2 in favor of the Blues. You're listening to Saints Baseball on YouTube Live, the official home of Arroyo Seco Baseball. Welcome back, viewers. We're here in the top of the 7th. Jamie Robinson, the pitcher for the Saints, back out for his second inning of work, as that first pitch from Robinson is in there for a strike. That 0-1 pitch is hit fly ball to right field. Forte gets under it and is able to make the catch for the out. So that'll be a quick out for the Saints here in the top of the 7th.
Now batting, the shortstop, number 1, Dane Stankiewicz.
And now batting for the Blues will be the shortstop, Dane Stankiewicz. Stankiewicz, as he takes that first pitch for a ball. 0-2 on the day, grounded out to second and flew out to shallow left as he takes that second pitch for a ball. 2-0 to Stankiewicz. He also walked in the 5th. So that's how he's done as he grounds that one over to first. Good play by Pete Durkee. Actually, that's Nick Pagan there at first base. So good play by Nick Pagan. Tosses over to the pitcher Robertson for the second out here in the top of the 7th.
Yeah, a defensive substitution for the Saints. Nick Pagan taking over duties at first base for Pete Durkee, who had done pretty well over there at first. And Pagan steps in and makes a beautiful diving play.
Stepping to the plate now for the Blues will be their center fielder, Ryan Cole, as he takes that first pitch for a strike. 0-1 the count to Cole. That 0-1 pitch is in the dirt. So that'll even up the count here at 1-1. And it appears though Robertson was moving pretty quickly with his windup. And the 1-1 pitch is driven deep to left field. Back is going. That's over the left fielder's head. And Ryan Cole is in there into second with a stand-up double.
That's actually Pete Durkee in left field. So
yeah, I couldn't tell who that was.
He made the switch from first to left field. Reyna,
Now batting,
as far as I can tell, Reyna has exited the game.
Hunter Swift.
So that'll be a 2-out double for the Blues. And a man is on second here with 2 outs. Stepping to the plate for the Blues will be their right fielder, Hunter Swift, as the first pitch to Swift is in there for a strike. 12-2 ball game here at Jackie Robinson Field in favor of the Blues. As that pitch is slapped up the middle. And that's going to be a base hit for Swift. Ryan Cole will stay at third. And I'm surprised he didn't round third there to head home.
Well, he was getting chance from the dugout. Seemed that the coaches were unhappy with the fact that they didn't send him home from third, but when the score is 12-2, you tend to take your foot off the gas pedal just a little bit.
Stepping up to the plate now for the Blues will be their second baseman, Tyson Corio. First pitch to Corio, misses low and in for ball 1. Corio hit a 2-run homer back in the 4th inning to turn a 10-2 ball game into 12-2 as he pops this one up. Getting under it and calling it is Luvano, and he's going to make the catch for the final out here in the top of the 7th. So a double and a single from the Blues, but no run score. The score will remain 12-2 as we head to the bottom of the 7th. It is stretching time here at Jackie Robinson Field. You are listening to Saints Baseball on YouTube Live, the home of Arroyo Seco Baseball. Welcome back, viewers. We are here in the bottom of the 7th. New pitcher on the mound for the Blues. It will be Kyle Richardson, the lefty from Texas A&M. So Andrew Alvarez's day is done after 2 innings. And stepping to the plate for the Saints will be the Vanderbilt product, Jason Gonzalez, third baseman for the Saints, as he takes that first pitch high for ball 1.
As you mentioned, Alvarez only went 2 innings, retired 6 of the 7 batters he faced.
So not a bad outing.
Not a bad outing at all.
As Gonzalez takes that second pitch for a ball. 2-0 the count to Gonzalez. So a good hitter's count for the third baseman. 2-0 pitch, swung on, slapped down the third base line, throw on to first, and Gonzalez is going to be safe as that high chopper gives time for Gonzalez to make it down to first base.
Now batting.
Good play overall by Hansen, going over, fielding it on the line. Fair down the third base line, I should say. And then he threw the ball over to first base. It almost short-hopped Rumfield, but he was able to make the scoop. And the play was not in time, however. As you mentioned, that high chopper gave Gonzalez plenty of time to get there, beat out the throw, and now he's on board with a leadoff single.
Stepping to the plate now for the Saints will be Pete Durkee, who is now playing left field for the Saints, replacing David Reyna in that position. But Nicholas Pagan will replace David Reyna in the batting order. So Nicholas Pagan will be in the 8th spot. We are currently at the 6th spot with Pete Durkee. As he takes that first pitch for a ball. The 1-0 pitch misses high for ball 2. 12-2 ball game here at Jackie Robinson Field in favor of the Blues. Saints just haven't seemed to get any offense going since the first inning. As that 2-0 pitch misses low and outside for ball 3. 3 straight balls thrown by Kyle Richardson. And the 3-0 pitch in there for a strike. 3-1 now. No outs here in the bottom of the 7th. Gonzalez on first. The 3-1 pitch misses low for ball 4, so Durkee will draw the walk here with no outs. And there will be a man on first and a man on second for the batter, Matt Thomas, the catcher for the Saints. Matt Thomas from Harvard, so he's got to be a smart guy.
He's a Harvard man.
Harvard man. Not many people can say that. The first pitch to the catcher is grounded down the third base line. Steps onto third for the force out. Throw on to first misses and goes past the first baseman, Rumfield. So I believe there will be a man on second and a man on third for the Saints here with 1 out because of the pass ball.
Your attention, please. Pinch hitting for the Saints. Number 34, Nicholas Pagan.
And Coach Milam's going to talk to the umpire and get some clarification on that call.
He probably just wants an explanation.
Yeah.
I'm sure some frustration might have something to do with the scoreboard right now. His team down 10 runs. Milam just trying to get some runs across the board for his Saints team. It was almost a very beautiful play by Nick Hansen over there at third base.
Yeah, it
Fielded
was.
it, stepped on the bag. Just the throw offline, got past Rumfield at first. Allowed Matt Thomas to advance to second base and Pete Durkee over to third. Now we've got Nick Pagan, a dangerous hitter for the Saints, at the plate with 2 runners in scoring position. Of course, there's still a 10-run lead that the Saints have to chip into.
Yeah, definitely a big deficit for the Saints, but an opportunity here for Nicholas Pagan to pick up two runs and cut into the deficit. The conversation with the umpire and Coach Milam has ended, but it appears as though all of the umpires are going to have a meeting to have some type of discussion about something. What it is, I'm not completely sure.
Lots of confusion on the field. It looks like everything ended up just being A-OK.
So the umpires will take their positions. The fielders will take their positions. And stepping up to the plate now for his first at bat today will be the first baseman, Nicholas Pagan, who took over duties at first base in the top of the 7th, I believe. One out here in the top of the 7th. Matt Thomas on second. And Pete Durkee, I believe, on third. Nicholas Pagan at the plate. First pitch to Pagan is in there for a strike. 0-1. The 0-1 pitch is swung on by Pagan and missed. That ball was in the dirt.
Something interesting that I just overheard from the San Luis Obispo Blues broadcast, Nick Pagan actually played for the Blues in 2017.
Interesting.
Now he finds himself facing off against them as a member of the Arroyo Seco Saints.
So 2 years in the California Collegiate League for Nicholas Pagan. The 0-2 pitch is hit on up the middle. Diving play by Stankiewicz, comes up with it, throwing to first. And he got him as Rumfield stretches out and is able to dig that ball out of the dirt. Great play by Stankiewicz. And there's 2 outs here. But on that ground ball, Durkee will come in to score. So the score will now be 12-3 in favor of the Blues. Matt Thomas will move over to third. And coming to the plate now for the Saints will be their center fielder, Nolan Tressler.
Huge play by Stankiewicz, diving, securing it, throwing it over, and then Rumfield making an even more impressive collection over there at first base. Stayed on the bag somehow. Overall, fantastic defense that we just saw from the Blues.
Tressler takes that first pitch for a ball. 1-0 the count to Tressler. The 1-0 pitch misses high for ball 2. So 2 outs here in the bottom of the 7th. 1 run in. Man on third with 2 outs. 2-0 pitch to Tressler is drilled to second base. Second baseman Corio comes up with it, throws on to first, and Tressler will be retired. So in the bottom of the 7th, the Saints pick up 1 run, and the score is now 12-3 in favor of the Blues. We're headed to the top of the 8th here at Jackie Robinson Field. You're listening to Saints Baseball on YouTube Live, the home of Arroyo Seco Baseball. Welcome back, viewers. We are headed to the top of the 8th here at Jackie Robinson Field. Score is 12-3 in favor of the Blues. There's a new pitcher on the mound for the Saints. It will be Zachary Griggs, the right-hander out of UT San Antonio. The batter for the Blues will be their designated hitter, Brian Klein, and he takes that first pitch high for ball 1.
And Griggs coming into the game brings about the end of the day for Jamie Robertson, who went 2 innings, 4 hits, 2 runs, both of them earned, walked 1, and struck out none.
That second pitch from Griggs misses for ball 2. So 2-0 now to Brian Klein. 2-1 pitch is driven to center field high. Tressler going back, able to get under it and make the catch for the first out here in the top of the 8th.
Good play out there by Tressler, tracking that one down. It always gets tougher to read those fly balls as the sun goes down and down. Now the sun is completely set. We're playing underneath the lights here at Jackie Robinson Memorial Field. Still a little bit of a breeze, though, taking the ball out towards left center. If you can see that American flag flying out there in center field, you can read the wind.
Coming to the plate now for the Blues will be their third baseman, Nick Hansen. Takes his first pitch in the dirt for ball 1. Hansen came on as a pinch hitter in the top of the 6th. The 1-0 pitch from Griggs. Slider in there for a strike. 1-1. 1-1 pitch from Griggs. Fastball misses outside. 2-1 now.
They're actually going to award the strike. They're going to say he went around. So
Okay.
1-2 the count. Got some help there from Hansen.
So 1-2 pitch to Hansen. Misses low in the dirt for ball 2. Good stop by Matt Thomas. So the count even here at 2-2. 1 out in the top of the 8th. Nobody on. And the pitch from Griggs. Slider slapped foul towards the third base dugout. So the count will remain 2-2 to Hansen. And the pitch from Griggs is swung on and missed. And down goes Hansen for the second out here in the top of the 8th. Coming to the plate now for the Blues. We're going to have a pinch hitter, actually, for TJ Rumfield.
Ladies and gentlemen, pinch hitter for the Blues, number 15.
And it'll be Brett Harris. Brett Harris out of Gonzaga. So a West Coast Conference product here in the CCL coming to the plate. Harris, as he takes that first pitch for a ball, standing in at 6'3", 198. Throws right, bats right. 1-0 pitch misses in the dirt for ball 2. That 2-0 pitch misses low for ball 3, so Harris takes 3 straight balls, and Griggs is in a position now where he needs to throw a strike. 3-0 pitch from Griggs in there for a strike, so able to make that pitch for a strike, and the count will be 3-1 to Harris. 3-1 pitch, slider, misses outside. That's going to be ball 4. So Harris comes in and draws a walk, and there will be a runner on first here with 2 outs in the top of the 8th.
Interesting thing about Griggs, he started his collegiate career as a two-way player. He ended his high school career as a two-way player. At Medina Valley High School, he finished his senior season with a .333 batting average and a 2.0 ERA. He then moved to UTSA, where he became a pitcher-only, PO, and he has appeared in 19 games in his 2 seasons there.
And I've had an interview with Griggs, actually. And he actually had Tommy John during, I think, his sophomore year in high school. So as this ball is driven to right field and is going to drop in for a base hit. So there'll be a man on first and a man on second here with 2 outs in the top of the 8th. But as I was saying, excruciating injury to have to go through that. But I wonder
Especially so young.
Yeah.
Sophomore year, that's
Something
16
like that.
years old.
It was something like that.
Yeah.
But I wonder if I could be completely wrong in saying this, but I wonder if he was batting while he was recovering. You know, maybe he couldn't throw, but he could bat while he was recovering from the injury.
Could be a way that he stayed near baseball for a little while.
Maybe. I should have asked him that. But here's Griggs still playing baseball and still pitching for the Saints, as at the plate for the Blues is Solian Burry. The 2-0. It's a 2-0 count to Burry right now. The 2-0 pitch from Griggs, slapped foul near the first base dugout. 2-1 the count now.
Burry's 1 for 4 on the day so far, looking to improve upon his batting average.
And the 2-1 pitch to Burry. Broken bat hit. Luvano comes up with it, tosses over to short, and that'll be the final out here in the top of the 8th. So a walk and a base hit, but no runs are scored for the Blues. As we head to the bottom of the 8th here, the score remains 12-3 in favor of the Blues. You're listening to Saints Baseball on YouTube Live, the official home of Arroyo Seco Baseball. Welcome back, viewers. We are coming to you live from Jackie Robinson Field. Score is 12-3 in favor of the Blues. It's been a tough game for the Saints. There's a new pitcher on the mound for the Blues. The right-hander Braden Gowdy from Chico State. As that first pitch is in there for a strike to the leadoff man, Anthony Forte. Gowdy out of Pleasant Hills, California. The 0-1 pitch from Gowdy misses low and inside for ball one. So it'll be a 1-1 count to Anthony Forte, the Saints right fielder. That 1-1 pitch misses low for ball two. 2-1 now.
Gowdy coming into the game brings about the end of the day for Richardson, who only pitched 1 inning, gave up 1 hit and a run. It was earned, walked 1, and struck out none.
As Anthony Forte pops this one back foul, bring the count even here at 2-2. On deck for the Saints is the second baseman Thomas Luvano. 2-2 pitch from Gowdy, swung on and fouled by Anthony Forte. The catcher Lindsley just unable to come up with that ball in his glove. So Anthony Forte will remain at the plate, and the count will remain 2-2. Two-two pitch, swung on and missed by Forte. And Forte goes down swinging here for the first out in the bottom of the 8th.
Now batting, the second baseman.
It has not been a successful day at the plate for really any Saints batters. Forte embodying that. He's 1 for 4 now after starting things off so hot, a double on the very first pitch he saw.
And he absolutely smoked that ball too. I really thought things were going to go well for the Saints after seeing that first double. But unfortunately, that was not the case as Luvano sends this to deep left field. Going back. And this ball is gone. That ball is gone. Luvano sends one deep to left field, the farther part of the ballpark, and hits a solo home run here in the bottom of the 8th. The score is now 12-4 in favor of the Blues.
That ball was kind of hard to read because it landed just behind the Mijares Mexican Restaurant sign out there in left field. And I guess that means that home run's brought to you by Mijares Mexican Restaurant.
A little advertising for Mijares.
Well, let's throw in our other advertisement then. Domenico's Italian Restaurant in Pasadena, California. It's a very good Italian restaurant.
If you like Italian food, go there as Drew Cowley drills this one through the gap of short and third into left field. And that's going to be a base hit for Drew Cowley here with 1 out.
Number 9, Andy.
I would like to point out, ever since I mentioned how poorly the Saints have been performing at the plate, that we've seen 2 pitches. One of them was a home run and one of them a single.
So I think Luvano and Drew Cowley kind of heard you say that.
Yeah, we might be in for an interesting meeting after the game.
And stepping to the plate now is the designated hitter, Andy Garriola. Garriola takes that first pitch for a ball, so 1-0 the count to Garriola. Garriola smokes this one to center field. That's going to fall in for a base hit, rounding third. And coming home is Drew Cowley. Garriola's going to come into second, and Drew Cowley slides in home safely, just beating the throw. So Garriola will pick up an RBI double here, and the Saints have put up 2 runs here in the bottom of the 8th, with the score now being 12-5 in favor of the Blues.
Well, they're chipping away, slowly but surely chipping away at this lead. Like you mentioned, they've put up 2 this inning. And now they find themselves only down 7 runs. Runner in scoring position with only 1 down here in the 8th inning.
And the Saints have 5 outs left to work with here, as there's 1 out right now in the bottom of the 8th. Garriola on second. Stepping to the plate is the third baseman, Jason Gonzalez, as the first pitch to Gonzalez is in there for strike 1. But an opportunity for Gonzalez here with a man in scoring position to tack on to the Saints score and try to lower the deficit here. That 0-1 pitch is in the dirt for ball 1. So the count is 1-1 to Jason Gonzalez. Gowdy in the stretch. The pitch, curveball, misses inside as Gonzalez has to back away to make sure he doesn't get hit by that ball. So that'll bring the count to 2-1 here. 1 out in the bottom of the 8th. Man on second. 2 runs have scored thus far. And the 2-1 pitch from Gowdy to Gonzalez. Swung on and hit to right field. Under it is Swift, able to make the catch. Garriola is not going to go anywhere as he's going to remain on second. So there will be 2 outs here in the bottom of the 8th.
Well, Garriola was prepared to tag up on that one. He headed back to the bag. As soon as the ball was caught, burst of speed off the bag, but realized he was being held on by the third base coach. Kind of took his 2 steps back to the bag with his head down, and now he'll be standing there still at second base, 2 down.
And coming to the plate now for the Saints will be the left fielder now, who replaced David Reyna in left field, Pete Durkee. The first pitch to Durkee is in there for strike 1. And now the opportunity is given to Durkee to drive in Garriola from second. Only 4 outs left to work with for the Saints here in this game, trailing 7 runs to the Blues. As that 0-1 pitch misses high for ball 1. 1-1 now to Durkee. Gowdy with a pitch, misses low for ball 2. 2-1 now. Durkee, a left-handed batter, Gowdy a right-handed pitcher, so the favor goes to Durkee in this type of situation.
Durkee's 0 for 2 on the day with a walk as well. He walked in his last at-bat. That was in the 7th inning. He came home to score, actually. So he's responsible for scoring one of the 5 runs the Saints have on the board, and he's got a chance to bring home another.
As he takes that pitch for a ball, and the count will be 3-1. So Durkee in a good hitter's count here. And we'll see if he goes after this pitch. The 3-1 from Gowdy misses low for ball 4, so Durkee will draw the walk here with 2 outs, and that'll put a man on first and a man on second with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 8th. Stepping up to the plate now for the Saints will be the catcher, Matt Thomas.
Now batting, the catcher, number 27.
And it appears the Blues will have a conversation on the mound.
I can't imagine there's much consideration to pulling Gowdy out of this game right now. It's still a 7-run ball game. So even if the unforeseeable happens, for the Blues, right? The worst case scenario out of this batter for them would be Thomas leaving the ballpark. That would still make it a 4-run ball game, which is plenty of space for a reliever to come into the game if need be.
And there's 2 outs now already in the bottom of the 8th, so Gowdy only needs 1 more out to get out of this inning. And the first pitch to Matt Thomas is in there for a strike. 0-1. Owen pitch curveball misses outside for ball 1. 1-1 now to the catcher, Matt Thomas. (12-5) ball game here in the bottom of the 8th, and the 1-1 pitch is swung on and fouled back. The count will be 1-2. 2 outs, man on first, man on second. Durkee on first, Garriola on second. Matt Thomas at the plate. And the 1-2 to Matt Thomas, curveball, swung on and missed. And Matt Thomas goes down swinging to end the bottom of the 8th. So the Saints pick up 2 runs on a home run from Thomas Luvano and an RBI double from Andy Garriola. And the score is now 12-5 in favor of the Blues as we head to the top of the 9th. You're listening to Saints Baseball on YouTube Live, the home of Arroyo Seco Baseball. And welcome back, viewers. We are headed into the top of the 9th here. Remaining on the mound for the Saints is Zachary Griggs, the UT San Antonio product, back out for his 2nd inning of work as his first pitch is hit to right field. Under it is Anthony Forte and makes the catch, as that was Dane Stankiewicz who hit that ball. So there will be 1 out here in the top of the 9th. And an easy, quick out for the Saints.
For the Blues, number 34, Ford Sherrington.
And there appears to be a pinch hitter for the Blues. Ford Sherrington from Hendrix College. Going into his senior season next year. Right-handed batter.
And that ends Ryan Cole's day, who will finish up 2 for 5 with a double and a single.
First pitch from Griggs to Sherrington is in there for a strike. 0-1. The 0-1 pitch. Slider catches the inside corner for strike 2. So Griggs able to get ahead of the count here. And now with some flexibility with this 0-2 count. And we'll see what he goes with. 0-2 pitch. Fastball misses outside. For ball 1. 1-2 now the count to Sherrington. One-two pitch from Griggs. Misses outside for ball 2, so that'll even up the count here at 2-2. One out here in the top of the 9th. Score is 12-5 in favor of the Blues. 2-2 pitch. Slider misses high. So an 0-2 count becomes full here. And I'm sure Griggs wants to throw a strike and try to get this guy swinging. And he does, and this is a chopper up the middle. Drew Cowley able to come up with it, throw on to first, and he's going to be safe. Good pickoff by Pagan, just not in time. As Sherrington will reach first on a one-out base hit.
The right fielder, number 18, Hunter Swift.
So that'll bring up Hunter Swift, the right fielder, who's 5 for 5 on the day. He has 5 singles.
Wow. I mean, talk about having a day.
Consistency.
5 for 5. First pitch to Swift. Swung on. Griggs comes up with it, throws on to first. Throws on to second, throws to first. And basically, it's a 1-4-3 double play to end the inning here in the top of the 9th. So one hit, but no runs are scored for the Blues, and the score remains 12-5 as we head to the bottom of the 9th. Only 3 outs remaining for the Saints to come back in this one. You're listening to Saints Baseball on YouTube Live, the home of Arroyo Seco Baseball. And welcome back, viewers. We are headed into the bottom of the 9th here at Jackie Robinson Field. The Saints are trailing 12-5 against the Blues. Remaining on the mound for the Blues is Braden Gowdy, who came on in the 8th. And leading things off for the Saints here in the bottom of the 9th will be the first baseman, Nicholas Pagan, as he takes that pitch for strike 1. Saints with 3 outs left to work with and in a 7-run deficit as Pagan takes that second pitch for a ball. 1-1 now to Pagan. But not a lot of room to work with here with 7 runs to gain in order to tie this ball game. 1-1 pitch misses low for ball 2. 2-1 now. 2-1 pitch swung on and hit to left field. Going back and making the catch is Burry for the first out here in the bottom of the ninth.
Good adjustment there by Burry. He started tracking back looking over his right shoulder, and then had to spin around, turn around, made the grab with his right foot back. So good job spinning around, collecting it, and he's joking around now with his shortstop Stankiewicz, doing the move once again as they have a little laugh back and forth.
Now stepping up to the plate now for the Saints will be the center fielder Nolan Tressler. Came on to replace Christian Scott earlier in the game, as Tressler sends a pop-up in foul territory. Getting under it and making the catch is Burry. So a quick 2 outs here in the bottom of the ninth, and the Saints are down to their last out. And coming to the plate will be the leadoff man, Anthony Forte.
Now, it doesn't matter what the score is, what the situation is. You never want to be the guy that makes the last out. So expect a well-fought at-bat here from Forte, especially given the fact that he started off the game hot with that first pitch double, and then in his last 3 at-bats, grounded out to first, flew out to left, and then struck out swinging.
First pitch to Forte, half swing, but fouled back. So the count will be 0-1. That second pitch misses for ball 1. So 1-1 now. That 1-1 pitch is fouled back by Anthony Forte, bringing the count to 1-2 here. And after this game, it appears that the next action for the Saints will be the CCL Prospect game, as Anthony Forte looks at that curveball and strike 3 as Anthony Forte goes down looking. But as I mentioned, the CCL Prospect game is coming up, and there will be 8 Saints represented in that game. That game will be on live TV on Fox Sports West. That game will be July 10th, this Wednesday. And playing in that game is pitcher Cade Bollinger, Drew Cowley, Anthony Forte, Andy Garriola, Michael Garza, Thomas Luvano, Colin King, and Evan Russell. So make sure to tune into that one to see the Saints represented amongst the best of the CCL. After that, the Saints will take on the Santa Barbara Foresters on Thursday, and that game will be at home. Then they'll be in Palm Springs against the Palm Spring Power, which is a non-league game. Then they'll be at Santa Barbara against the Foresters on Saturday, and round out the week at Cal Lutheran against the Conejo Oaks. Final score in this one, the Blues 12 and the Saints 5. So a tough game for the Saints as they fall to the Blues, and the Blues take that series advantage over the Saints in the CCL standings. Tough game for the Saints, but I'm sure they'll look to bounce back. For Jack Steele and Matt Borner, thank you for tuning into this one. We hope you have a pleasant rest of your evening. And until next time, good night, everyone.